Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one. This morning, I'd like to invite y'all into this spiritual meditation slash morning ritual. This is how I start a lot of my mornings. You know, very intentional. Um, you can see kind of the vibe a little bit. Set the candle. Um, let the sun rise, like peek into the window. And mostly I sit quiet, you know what I'm saying? I sit quiet and feel what's in my energy field, hear my thoughts without judgment. And I try to keep this sacred. I try to keep it true, so I don't do it every single morning. I don't do this every single morning, but I do it as consistently as I can. I always like slowly start the day. I always like right when I wake up, I lay for a little bit, feel what's going on, feel the temperature that's going on in my body. Because if we keep it real, you never know what you're gonna wake up on. You never know what's gonna be on your spirit. I mean, at least me, and maybe we get to a point where, that's a lot more consistent. But you just never know. You never know what's gonna be on your spirit. So I always take that little time to check the weather. I feel like there's weather out there, and then we got internal weather. So I check the weather, the forecast, if you will, so I know how I want to approach uh, my day, And I feel like a part of consistency, it's not so much you doing the exact same things every day, but you adapting to what the weather is and treading forward. You know, you know how they say in relationships how sometimes it's gonna be 50-50, right? And sometimes it's gonna be 10-90, and sometimes it's gonna be 100-0. Well, I think it's the same way when it comes to us, when it comes to our life, and when it comes to consistency, practices, and routines. Depending on the weather, you may not be able to give that same 100. You may have to be able to give that same 20-40, and it's just you being able to and willing to adapt with yourself, and you know what I'm saying, with your practices, whatever that is. And so, just to share some of my climate is like there's this feeling of it's like it's almost a boredom, but it's not though. It's more subtle, and it's just like my inner space is quiet, but it's like this I can't even call it anxiety, to be honest, because it's not quite anxiety either. It's not uncomfortable. It's just like almost antsy, like, and I'm just like, bet that's the energy. So I'm just kind of sitting with it, and becoming one with that energy. At this point in my journey, I don't want nothing to come in my energy field and I feel like I need to run. I choose to embrace life as it is, listening to people like Eckhart Tolle and Muji, Rupert Spira. Like, I'm really into like spiritual masters and stuff like that, which I feel like my journey led me in that direction. Like, I've always been interested and attracted to wisdom, but that's also where I get a lot of practical wisdom from. That's like kind of some of my intellectual company. That's kind of the type of stuff I like to take in sacredly. But if you're watching this video and you made it to this point, you see how this feels. You see how it is. You slow the day down. You slow time down, and you spend time with your presence, in the presence of timelessness. I just wanted to share that with y'all. It's so calming, it's so relaxing. I got a question for you. Who is it that you want to be? Like nobody else's influence. Like, who do you want to be? How do you want to be remembered? You know, when you're not around people, how do you want them to feel when they think about you? You know, what kind of impact do you want to make in lives, in other people's lives? Or better yet, how do you want to feel about yourself? Who do you think you are? And how does your behavior, how you act, correlate with who you think you are? Is it congruent or is it opposite? In this space, we don't judge. We don't judge each other. We don't judge ourselves. We just observe. We see it. We see it raw. And we note it. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. But I thank you for spending this time with me this morning in this meditative space, in this safe space. So whether today ends up turning out to be a rough day or a good day, whether you are very abundant and, at the pinnacle of your success, or you're struggling to make ends meet, the greatest place that you can come from is right where you are. Not perfect, just real. As always, I wish you peace, love, and abundance every single day, but especially on the days that it rains. And with that being said, I am tapping in and signing out. Have a good one. Peace.